Hi there, Vlad is here, and I've decided to share a couple of tips on how to play kind of bluesy rock licks using pentatonics. Now, thing about pentatonics, I know a lot of people think root pentatonics. Basically, you base a root and then you make a minor pentatonics. But there are many other pentatonics that you can work with. And for example, in jazz pentatonics, and I incorporate that in my playing, you have very different kind of pentatonics. So this is kind of an idea how you can practice that. Okay. First, let's make a key. Let's as a guitarist, let's do an A, right? Even though I like the B flat, but it's okay. Let's do the A. Now the A has a root in it, right? Right? And you can play it different ways, right? Right? Now, the way I just played, I basically played on pentatonic scale. I can bend strings. For example, if you're a blues guy, you'd probably, a rock blues guy would do. Right? And you probably heard this many times on records in the 70s especially. And you can do many other things. Right? So the way we do this, first, let's explore the pentatonics. So the pentatonics we have is 1, which is a root, flat 3, 4, 5, and flat 7. Then we have. These are the pentatonics, right? And you can make this in different positions, right? For example. Right? You can explore that. As far as the bending and the way you make a phrase, right? You always try in blues, you're trying to make some kind of effect of cadence, what we call it. Basically a 5 to 1, a 3 to 1. What that means is this. If you have a 1, right? You have a 3. So if I do a phrase, right? So you have 3, 3, 1. Right? If I do 5, 5 to 1, right? You can do like a bend to 1. And every time in blues you go 3 to 1 or 5. Right? And you probably heard me playing that. Right? So these are 3 and 5 to 1. So these are basic pentatonics. And another thing you can do when you have a position, different position for the same note. For example, right? It's the same note. Right? A very different position, but sounds identical almost. You see the sound quality is a little different, right? And depends where you're at the guitar, you can make that more effective in your phrasing, for example. Right? You have that. If you go here. Right? So there are many ways you can do this, right? And the phrasing wise, again, in blues, you want to go from some kind of development, basically dominant, subdominant tone, which is a 5 or 4, to 1, right? Even if you have a phrase, right? So basically what I'm doing is 3 to 1. Right? And you can connect different positionings together. For example, right? So what I did here, I went through this position to this position. Right? So, and I went back to one position, but only the octave higher. So that's one. Now let's talk about the different kind of pentatonics. So these are minor pentatonics. Well, how about I'll do 5 notes, the pentatonic, but the only difference is instead of playing 1, flat 3, 4, and 5, and flat 7, I'll do this. 1, flat 3, 4, and instead of having the 5, I'm doing the 6. So in this case, I'll have and you probably heard that, right? Right? So that 6, the 13, what we call it, right? Right? Now, how do we find this 13? It's kind of difficult at first, right? It's very simple. You go 5 down and you play Mixolydian scale. Basically, what you have, if you have an A, 5 down is going to be the D, and you play there your major scale. Basically, a D major, if you will. So by doing so, then you know exactly what to do anywhere. Right? And it's going to be the effect on the 13th chord, right? So this is how you basically approach any pentatonics. Then you mix and match, right? You play. And 13. Right? Then back to 1. And the last thing, not least, you can incorporate things from different notes from the pentatonic scale as a root, and you'll have a different effect. One of my favorite is probably the 6. What that means is this: if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? The F sharp in this case, it's going to be the natural 6, as the way we just approach. It's sort of like the Dorian mode, right, to that. Right? So if you do the F sharp and do the minor pentatonic on that, that's the effect again. So the F sharp minor pentatonic will give you the same effect. You can explore things as far as the 2nd note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. Also, it's going to be create a different kind of color. For example, let's try a 5th note. It's going to be the E, so it's going to be the E minor pentatonic, even though we're playing on A. Right? So we're doing that with the same. Right, again. Okay, so you can explore this over these chords, okay? It's going to be like a major minor thing, right? Right? this effect. Again, so try doing this on A minor, for example, and it's going to get you there. So it's not that difficult, really, as far as blues rock goes. Right? Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.